Hey everybody, Keith here and welcome to the channel. Today we're diving headfirst into the fascinating world of crystal experiments. We're talking about growing your own crystals, the science behind their formation, and how even the tiniest vibrations can have a huge impact on these mesmerizing structures. Get ready to have your mind blown because we're about to unlock the secrets of the crystal dimension. Let's talk about why crystal experiments are a classroom staple. Remember making sugar crystals in school? It's like magic, but with science. Teachers love these experiments for introducing basic chemistry concepts. Building crystals helps students understand molecular structures. You're creating a 3D model of particle arrangement. It's a front row seat to the magic of chemistry. No fancy lab needed, just household items. Hands-on experiences make learning fun and solidify concepts. It's about sparking curiosity and inspiring future scientists. Let's talk about the different types of crystals you can grow. There's a whole world beyond sugar crystals, although those are pretty awesome too. One of the easiest crystals to grow at home is the salt crystal. You probably already have everything you need in your kitchen. Just dissolve table salt in hot water until no more can dissolve and let the solution cool slowly. As the water evaporates, cubic salt crystals will form. Sugar crystals are a classic for a reason. Dissolve sugar in water, just like with salt. Add food coloring for vibrant colors. Perfect for edible science projects, with adult supervision of course. For the adventurous, try copper sulfate crystals. They have a stunning deep blue color, but handle with care. Copper sulfate is toxic. Alum crystals are the grand finale. Alum is used in pickling and water treatment. They look like Superman's fortress of solitude. Each crystal has unique properties and growth patterns. So, put on your lab coats and let's get experimenting. Okay, get this. Growing crystals isn't just a fun hobby or a cool classroom experiment, it's actually super important for a ton of scientific research. I'm talking cutting-edge stuff here. For example, in materials science, researchers are constantly looking for new materials with improved properties like strength, durability, and conductivity. And guess what? Crystal growth plays a key role in this process. By carefully controlling the conditions under which crystals grow, scientists can manipulate their size, shape, and even their electrical properties. And it's not just materials science. Crystallography, which is the study of crystals, is essential in fields like chemistry and physics too. Scientists use powerful techniques like X-ray diffraction to study the arrangement of atoms within crystals, which helps them understand how different substances interact with each other at a molecular level. This knowledge is then used to develop new drugs, design more efficient solar cells, and even create new types of computer chips. So, yeah, pretty much every smartphone, laptop, and life-saving medication we rely on today has been impacted by crystal growth research in some way. Now, let's talk about how crystal experiments are literally changing the game in medicine. You see, most medications we take are made up of small organic molecules that need to be in a stable crystal form to be effective, and that's where crystal growth comes in. Pharmaceutical companies use sophisticated crystal growth techniques to create drugs that are not only effective but also safe and easy to administer. They're looking at things like crystal size and shape, which can affect how well a drug dissolves and gets absorbed by the body. Think about it, a drug that dissolves too quickly might not stay in your system long enough to work, while a drug that dissolves too slowly might not be as effective. It's all about finding that sweet spot. And here's where it gets even cooler. Scientists are now researching ways to use crystals to deliver drugs directly to specific cells in the body, like cancer cells. This targeted drug delivery approach could revolutionize the way we treat diseases, making treatments more effective and reducing side effects. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to go on a journey through time with crystals as our guide. You see, crystals are like tiny time capsules that hold clues about the Earth's history. Geologists study the formation of minerals and crystals to understand how mountains were formed, how volcanoes erupted, and even how the Earth's climate has changed over millions of years. It's like piecing together a giant jigsaw puzzle, with each crystal providing a valuable piece of information. For example, by analyzing the composition of crystals found in ancient rocks, geologists can determine the temperature and pressure conditions that existed when those rocks were formed. They can even tell if there was water present and what the chemical composition of that water was. And it's not just about the past, understanding how crystals form also helps us predict future geological events like earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. So the next time you hold a crystal, remember that you're holding a tiny piece of Earth's history in your hand. Alright, buckle up because crystals are also the backbone of our modern technological world. I'm talking computers, smartphones, lasers, you name it, and it all comes down to the unique properties of crystals, especially their ability to interact with light and electricity. Take semiconductors for example. These materials are essential for making computer chips. And guess what? They're made using carefully controlled crystal growth techniques. By manipulating the impurities within a silicon crystal, engineers can fine-tune its electrical conductivity, making it possible to create the tiny transistors that power our electronic devices. And then, there's the world of lasers and optics. Many lasers use crystals as their active medium, the material that actually produces the laser light. Different crystals emit different wavelengths of light, which is why we have lasers of all different colors, from red to green to blue. Without crystals, we wouldn't have things like barcode scanners, fiber optic cables, or even Blu-ray players. So, yeah, those shiny little crystals are pretty much running the show when it comes to technology. Now, let's not forget about the artistic side of crystals. For centuries, people have been captivated by the beauty of crystals, and artists and hobbyists alike have incorporated them into their work. Crystal growing isn't just about science, it's become an art form in itself. People are creating stunning crystal formations in all sorts of shapes and sizes, from delicate crystal gardens to intricate crystal sculptures. You can even find DIY crystal growing kits that make it easy for anyone to create their own sparkly masterpieces at home. And of course, we can't forget about jewelry. Crystals have been used in jewelry making for thousands of years, and for good reason. They're beautiful, durable, and each type of crystal is believed to have its own unique energetic properties. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, growing large, high-quality crystals isn't always easy. It's a bit like baking a cake. You need the right ingredients, the right proportions, and the right environment to get that perfect result. One of the biggest challenges is controlling the rate of crystal growth. If a crystal grows too quickly, it can trap impurities or develop defects in its structure, kind of like how a cake can become dense and crumbly if it's baked at too high a temperature. To grow those picture-perfect crystals, you need to create a stable environment with minimal vibrations and temperature fluctuations. Even a slight change in temperature can disrupt the delicate balance of crystal growth, leading to imperfections or even causing the crystal to stop growing altogether. But hey, that's all part of the fun, right? It's about experimenting, troubleshooting, and learning from your mistakes. And when you finally do manage to grow that perfect crystal, it's an incredibly rewarding feeling. Here's the thing about crystals, they don't grow overnight. Well, some do, but many take their sweet time, sometimes days, weeks, or even months to reach their full potential. It's a true test of patience. Growing crystals is a bit like watching a plant grow. It's a slow and gradual process that requires patience and observation. You can't rush it, you just have to trust the process and let nature do its thing. But that's also part of the beauty of it. It teaches us to appreciate the slow and steady unfolding of natural processes, to find joy in the journey, not just the destination. And when you finally see those crystals start to form and grow, it's like witnessing a tiny miracle unfolding before your very eyes. Alright, before we wrap things up, we need to talk about safety because, as with any science experiment, it's important to handle chemicals with care and follow proper safety procedures. Some of the chemicals used in crystal growing experiments can be toxic or corrosive, so always wear gloves and eye protection when handling them. It's also a good idea to work in a well-ventilated area to avoid inhaling any fumes. And remember, never eat or drink anything while you're working with chemicals, and always wash your hands thoroughly after handling them. It's always better to be safe than sorry. If you're working with kids, make sure they're supervised at all times and that they understand the importance of following safety rules. With a little bit of caution and common sense, crystal growing can be a fun and safe activity for everyone. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the world of crystal experiments. Hopefully you've learned something new and maybe even feel inspired to try growing your own crystals at home. Remember, whether you're a seasoned scientist or a curious beginner, there's always something new to discover in the fascinating world of crystals. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more fascinating science content. And be sure to share your crystal growing experiences in the comments below. I'd love to see what you create. See you next time.